Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Pretty Real Persona. I am your host, Ariana Reese, baby. I'm so happy to be back today. Happy Wednesday, my loves. Today's episode is about the art of being present with others. Um, it's so hard being present with others as we live in a world full of, distractions, but like being present with someone is one of the highest forms of love that you can give someone. So today we're going to get into that and yeah, even just like honestly being present with yourself as well. So today I kind of want to talk about, what being present really means because it means more than just, putting your phone down. It's just like, making someone feel seen and heard, listening to understand and not listening to respond. Like we're so human to the point where it's like a lot of times we just want to get our point across, and it's like when you're having a conversation with someone else and you need to both prioritize feeling her, whether it's one person goes, one listens to understand, and like not listening to respond, which means that when this person is talking, you're listening and you're trying to understand their point of view. um, you're not getting defensive or feeling like you're the victim in the situation or feeling attacked. You're strictly just trying to see their perception, because that's another thing, we all do not have the same perception. We all have we all perceive everything in this world differently, like completely different. Not one of us perceive everything the same. So it's like that's why it's like a lot of miscommunication. It's like communication and comprehension in this world is just so important, because it's like, okay, we could communicate, like it's like, do you can hear me, but do you understand me? Like, do you understand why I could feel like this? Even if you were me, you wouldn't feel like that. That's the important piece. Like, you don't have to agree with someone to understand how they feel. And you don't have to be able to put yourself in other shoes and see how they could feel that way. Especially if you want them to do the same for you. Seriously. And then like being present also means like, making people feel held and not fixed. Like a lot of times people like another thing to communication, sometimes you have to communicate and ask somebody when they're like speaking to you, trying to have a conversation, a one-on-one type of thing, or like an argument with your partner, you guys are trying to work it out, talk like in a respectful a manner that's very that's solution oriented. Like, but it's like everything doesn't call for a solution. Sometimes people just want to feel heard. They want to feel loved. That's why I say people don't want to feel like you're giving them solution to the point where you feel like you're fixing them, and sometimes that makes them feel like they're wrong. But it's like you can sometimes you have to gauge whether someone wants a solution, they want you to listen, or they just you know or they want you to like really understand where they're coming from. And it's really like, especially as a woman, so I'm gonna give y'all the tricks to my men out there for women, um, or for my women for women, or for my them for women. Any type of relationship situation. And then I just want to talk about why we struggle to stay present. Some reasons like we struggle to stay present is because we're thinking of the next thing to say. Like, have you ever done that? Like, let me know in the comments. Like, sorry, I feel like I keep itching my nose, but it's like hairs keep getting in my nose. But it's like, have you ever been like in a situation where you're arguing with your partner and you're listening to what they're saying, but you're thinking of, okay, what am I about to say next? How you can respond to every single thing they're saying, instead of literally just sitting in sitting in the silence and just listening to everything they say, and just not thinking of what should you say next, what should you do next. you know that that is a struggle. I do get that, but it's like sometimes that's exactly what you need to do. Sometimes we're distracted by our own fears, assumptions, like internal dialogue, and it's really makes it really hard for us to stay present or to stay tapped into the moment. Like, kind of makes us like get into our head, where it's like that takes away from the moment, and that takes away from honestly getting to a solution, even if it's not a problem, but even just like it takes away from connection. And it's like sometimes like we're afraid of the silence, but sometimes that's where like connection lies. Like sometimes you have to sit in silence and really, sometimes you think have to think to yourself for a second of like, what you how you should rate next. So you definitely sometimes have to sit in that silence and don't be afraid, I think a lot of times we do run from sitting in the silence. This is a side note, but I something I feel like I just want to put out there. But I feel like that is the reason why I feel like it's important for um, us to live like by ourselves. Like I've lived by myself for like over 4 years now, and I will say when I lived by myself, that's when I learned a lot about myself. Like when you live by yourself, it's a lot of sitting in silence. Like you get used to the silence. Me, I grew up with a big family, like five brothers. I was never really alone, even when I wanted to be. So, I think like definitely when I started to live by myself, it was a transition for me. And honestly, that is a big reason why I got a cat because um, sometimes you feel scared just the presence of like not having anybody around you. So yeah, um, so I can see why like we're afraid to sit in that silence because it's like when you're sitting to yourself, sitting with yourself, sitting with your emotions and things, it's hard to face yourself. And I feel like that's why living alone, we should all have an experience of living alone, whether it's for a short period of time or not, because it's like you will learn a hell of a lot about yourself. And it's like facing a mirror. It's like you really see, okay, you really see yourself in all of yourself. Like, and then it's like, okay, then it's easier to like really get to know yourself. So I recommend it. And then like some things you can do to deepen presence is make sure you ground yourself before conversations, like maybe take some deep breaths and then or take a second to like say you have an argument with your partner or something. You take a second to sit there and like say what you want to get out of the conversation first, or find ways to connect or ways that you feel loved, like hug, or just sit with yourself, deep breaths, take a walk and talk. I know that's one of me and my partner's favorite things to do is walk and talk because it's like for us it's easier for us to like understand each other when we're like outside in nature. Nature is very grounding. So it's like, go outside and put your feet in that grass, baby. I bet you'll feel grounded, calm, cool, collected, baby. Trying to ground yourself before conversation or hard conversations. Because, sometimes, your chest can get the beat and you get the feeling that anxiety. Ask, like, in those situations, like, ask open ended questions because sometimes people, like, the way you say things can offend people. So it's like, sometimes, like, if you ask an open ended question or like a open type of question, that leaves openness, that makes a space feel openness to the person you're talking to because it's like they don't feel like you're judging them or that you are trying to say they're wrong or putting the blame on them. It's just they understand that, oh, she's just asking, she's just curious. Like I was saying, oh yeah, they'll feel like, oh, she's just curious. Prioritize curiosity over control. um, don't try to make the person um, see your perspective so bad that you're trying to control the conversation or the situation. Just stay curious, stay open to the fact that, okay, maybe that you are, not the same person as someone, and that they can think the way they think and you can think the way that you think. No, neither of us are wrong, but we both need to understand where each other is coming from. And we both need to do it in a very intentional and present way. I think I've realized the time that I felt the most loved by someone is when they gave me their full presence, even if they didn't have the answers or not. Um, I just feel like, that giving like the art of being present with someone just gives them peace. Like you could be somebody's peace. Yeah, I kind of just want to end you guys with, presence is a gift. And like any art, it takes practice. And when you master it, it changes every relationship that you're in, including the one with yourself. So, I hope you guys love today's episode. Please comment, like, subscribe to our Pretty Persona podcast, and let me know what you guys thought of today's episode. And then or what you didn't like, what you want to see me do next. I love you guys, and I hope that you guys have a great day. Thank you guys for tapping in, tuning in. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.